What up? This Finance, Fitness, and Folk channel. We discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, talk about some folk. So today's episode, I'm going to discuss ways to spend your tax refund, or tax return in 2024. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out, give you leverage, you better yourselves. So let's get into it. So ways you can spend your tax refund or tax return, however you want to call it, in 2024. These are not in particular order, and I'm not going to give a number as far as how many that I'm going to give. I'm just going to give some ideas that I think you should really consider with your tax return. Because, like I said before in a video previous to this one, I said your tax money ain't your money. And once again, what I meant by that is that there's going to be a lot of folks who are going to spend their tax return on unnecessary crap. So, like, before the return even gets into your bank account, you already have it spent up. You know what I'm saying? You haven't even thought about the future. You haven't even thought about what you're going to do in a positive note with that tax money, because, you know, buying material stuff you don't need is not a positive thing. That's just making you feel good. You're all in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Screw your feelings. It's about real life here. You know what I'm saying? You can't be just blowing your tax return or tax money on stuff that's immaterial when you got right responsibility, especially being a guy. You know what I'm saying? You may not need to spend that money on that new Benz or the new Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be responsible, right? So anyways, ways you can spend your tax return or tax refund in 2024. So the first one that I would say is probably the most important one. Like I said, I'm not putting this in order, is to pay off debt. Now, you know, depending on how much money you get in a return, I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not pretty sure, but I mean, like, there's a lot of folks that are not going to be able to pay all their debt off with that tax return, right? But the thing is that what you may fail to realize is that the longer that you keep yourself in debt, the longer you'll be behind the 8 ball. And what I mean by that is that, you know, if you are $10,000 in debt and you come up on 10,000 from even a tax return, because I've seen some that's that big before, you know, or you hit the lottery or something, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, you really are at zero. You know what I'm saying? Because depending on what kind of debt you have, it's not going away, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to spend the 10,000 but not spend a penny on the debt, right? And then may accumulate even more debt with the 10,000 that you spent without even addressing your actual debt that you already know you have, right? So I'm not saying to I'm not saying to spend your whole tax return on paying off debt, but like, you need to put a dent in it. You know what I'm saying? A huge dent. Like, there's no reason why you should have this money coming into your account and you don't address debt. You know what I'm saying? That's fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of folks have fear when it comes to debt. You need to get over that fear and put some money to that debt, right? The second one I would say, like I said, no number order, but the next one I would say is create an emergency fund. You know, statistically, you know, you can, you know, Google this, and I'm not exactly sure what the percentage is, but it's a huge percentage of Americans that do not have an emergency fund, or even savings for that matter, to address emergencies. And I mean, life is life. You know what I'm saying? Things come up. We all know this. If you've been an adult long enough, you are going to run across emergencies. You know what I'm saying? You're going to run across expenses that you really didn't anticipate. And for the most part, a lot of times when these emergencies come up, folks are not prepared. One of the major ones is medical debt, right? And so many Americans, it's unfortunate that Americans are dying because they're terrified of having medical debt. You know what I'm saying? They know that something's wrong with them, and they fear going to the doctor because they know they don't have good insurance, or they have no insurance at all to take care of themselves, right? So an emergency fund is extremely important. You need to have that emergency fund. Next one I would say is, like I said with the second one I just said, addressing that, is creating a savings account. Put savings up, right? Pay yourself first. That's one of the things that I was taught a long time ago when I was trying to understand how money works, right? Somebody told me a long time ago that, you know, if you're not paying yourself first, when you get your paycheck, you're doing yourself a disservice, because guess what? Uncle Sam gets their stuff off the top. You know what I'm saying? You know, before you get your paycheck, they're taking out federal, they're taking out state, they're taking out Social Security, they're taking out whatever other taxes they take out of your check, depending on the state. Like, they're taking out all that stuff. Medicare, they're taking out all of that before you get your money, right? So if Uncle Sam's gonna take his off the top, then why not take something for yourself off the top and put it away? You know what I'm saying? Then address other things, right? One of the things I preach on this channel all the time, and you know what I'm about to say, start an LLC and create a business. This is the perfect time for anybody that's an entrepreneur, anybody that has entertained creating a business, is to start it now. Because like I said before, this year I truly believe it's going to be a market boom. I truly believe that. I truly believe that inflation is going to top off or level off. And I'm not saying this is going to be, you know, another 2020. I'm not going to say that at all, right? However, I do believe that the economy is going to have an upswing. And creating a service or building a service for the economy is how you build wealth. There's not going to be too many folks that watch the channel, or even America as a whole, that's going to be able to build sustainable wealth, generational wealth, by being a W-2 employee, doing a 9-to-5. It's very hard. You know, I've said before, I think some videos ago, a while ago, that I had met this one guy a while back in a restaurant, and me and him was talking or whatever. I was at the bar trying to get a drink, and all of a sudden we was talking about IT stuff, right? And I'm IT, he's IT, and long story short, he's a cloud engineer. Guess how much he told me he makes a year? 400 grand a year. A W-2 employee, right? Somebody does 9-to-5. Now, he does travel for his job. He works for the government, but 400 grand. That is life-changing for some folks, whatever. But guess what? That 400 grand is not he doesn't get the whole 400 grand. Guess who takes off the top first? Uncle Sam, right? So he's never going to see the 400 grand. So creating a business with your tax return, you know, will help you get all your money up front, and then you can do what you need to do as far as tax write-offs, so you can lower your tax liability when it comes to you paying taxes off of that money you build on your business. So there's a lot of ways you can spend your tax money, but those are the main things that I think that folks should really entertain and address when it comes to their tax return, because doing your tax return is all it's going to do is just put you in more debt, and it's not going to address the problems you may have when it comes to money. All right, like, comment, subscribe. I'm endeavor to keep pushing this video out, give you leverage, better yourselves. Find Fitness and Folk. Triple F, I'm gone.